Welcome back. Yes, it's time for Winner Home and Afternoon Express, where we follow 3 talented young design contestants as they turn 3 empty apartments into dream homes at Val de Vie in the Cape Winelands. And you stand a chance to win one of the completed apartments valued at over 3 million rand. So today is a big day for our design contestants as they've completed their very first room, and we get to see what they've put together for the very first time. Danilo is on the couch.
2 weeks ago, our design contestants were briefed on their very first challenge, the guest bedroom. Together with their mentors, they set out to create the most beautiful space to wow any guest, and the deadline for their first room has arrived. We're joined now by our 3 design contestants, Joanne, Minenhle and Rudolph, to get their thoughts upon completing their first room. So last time we were on this couch speaking about this room, your bags were not underneath your eyes, you were nowhere, you had got paint on the wall, but your floors were in, and Joanne, our guest Mark was very, very happy with the way that you had made your progress. If you want a quick little highlight of all of those good and not so good moments, take a look at this.
At the moment, I'm just very stressed because I'm sorting out my lighting now, which should have been done earlier on.
So I chose Plascot in the mood because I love the... oh, with the
This is not bad at all. We can fix this. We can fix it.
So because I had my headboard made myself, something went wrong. I gave them the dimensions of the overall size, and then they added the foam to that size. So they made the frame the size I gave them. So we just need to remove 1 layer of foam. So I'm just doing a bit of reupholstery.
So this is like the main feature on my bedroom. Of which went wrong earlier. So the problem was the mirrors were too big for the doors. Luckily, on a Friday, we managed to find this guy with my amazing team, Jess, Klaus and Paul, who did an absolutely great job for us. And now my whole idea is coming together and viewers are going to get to see the room that I had imagined.
This copper rod is a bit skewed, maybe to the side a bit, so we have to put it up on the side. I'll have to get them to go into the ceiling again. But I love the look of it. I love the copper. So, yay!
Almost done. A couple of hours left. Let's do this.
Oh, so even though things didn't always work out as planned, our design contestants definitely went all out on style and design. Time has come. Are you complete? Are you happy?
I'm happy with the outcome. I'm happy with how the theme of the colors came together, because my theme was inspired by nature, by the surroundings of the area. So I went for very earthy colors, which are very neutral. And I'm happy with how the room gives a hint of how I'm going to be dealing with the rest of the house.
Not only did the man finish his guest bedroom, but he also designed a theme to go with that. So I'm very, very impressed that you managed to put it all together in the short space of time that you had left to get your apartment done. Well done, dude. Very, very proud of you. All of you were briefed to think outside of the box when it came to your headboard. So let's talk about those. Let's start with you, Minenhle.
The viewers are going to see, with the bed that I went for, I couldn't really play around much with the headboard. It sort of came with the headboard. But what I did with the wall behind the bed was use a color that stood out. Okay. So the other walls are very light, and the Garden City color I used.
You just have wait and see to see whether the judges think it was outside of the box enough. Rudolph, yourself?
Yeah, I included a stitching, so I hope the judges would see the stitching, but then I also incorporated the Caesar stone into the headboard just to add some extra storage. So it just also makes the whole scale of the headboard a little bit bigger than you would expect it to be usually.
Good stuff. Well, Joanne, yours was more of a side flop board than it was a headboard. What happened there?
So I didn't think it through as well as I thought, but it worked out in the end. I did make it work.
So what were you going for? What is it looking like? Are you happy with the final result?
I love the final result. It's very symmetrical, and I love how it contributes to the space. It's stuck to the wall, so you can't move it.
we had some interesting guests that came to visit, obviously, as they went, and a lot of people that have been in and out. You guys have been working really, really hard. But you, Rudolph, I'm sure played a bit with wallpaper too.
Yes, I had a collaboration with Robert Sprong, and we worked on some geographic lines that we included as an art piece on the wall. So it looks great in the end, and I'm happy with the final result.
Okay, so Minenhle, let's talk a bit about your room that you've got there. You've incorporated some mirrors to make it look slightly bigger. Are you happy with the final result in terms of making that room look bigger? Because they're not massive room sizes. Your task was to make them look bigger than they actually are.
When I got there, I realized how small the room was. So part of the challenge was to sort of make the room seem bigger than it was. So my idea was to use very light painting, and obviously going with the mirrors, which as you enter, you don't really see them. It's sort of like the wow factor of the room.
Nice, good stuff. Well, how have you all tried to incorporate making sure that your guests feel welcome? What have you done particularly to have that space be so warm and friendly?
So I didn't add a lot of unnecessary elements, so the guests should fill the room with what they bring to the space. So there's a lot of room for them. And the colours are very light, so it feels open and bigger.
Yeah, cool.
I think Simon said something very true. He said it must be a Swiss knife design. You know, the guests only spend half a day or a couple of days in your space. So the room must also add value to the home. It must be multifunctional in many ways.
Well, that's what he said. What did you do to incorporate that?
Yeah, well, I tried to include a desk space and some storage areas.
Okay, so you've made it multifunctional, which I think in some ways the resale of that room will now add value to the property.
Absolutely.
So you're thinking very wisely and smartly from a business model perspective, and I'm very glad about that.
Absolutely.
Milenhle, yourself, you've obviously incorporated mirrors so people can see themselves in.
Yeah, above that, like my bed it's a bit big, so it's a big size, so it gives a personal touch to whoever is accommodating the room. And I also added a chair element to give that personal touch, so you don't just sleep in the room, you can also sit and maybe read a book or something.
Okay, fantastic. Well, Journée, I'm going to turn this question to you because being the girl in the group, you hopefully will be a lot more tactful than the gents themselves. But you've obviously now got a chance to see what the other two have produced. Who do you feel between the three of you is your biggest competition?
Rudolph.
How come?
Because he's got his timing and everything up to par. Like he knows exactly what's going on. He has a lot of experience, I would say. So, yes.
Now, Milenhle, do you think Rudolph or Journée is your biggest competition?
At this stage, I think Rudolph.
Okay.
Considering his experience because time management is very important, and that's what I've realized in this competition.
Cool.
Definitely.
Interesting, guys. So obviously Wildebeest's beautiful estate. You guys have finished your first room on the estate. Do you feel like you've matched the theme of the venue? Do you feel like you've really incorporated what Wildebeest is trying to do and what you guys are trying to do with your apartments, Rudolph?
Yeah, I think with this challenge, it was really something that's going to set the tone for the rest of the apartment. Okay. So we really had to think carefully on how we're going to approach it. And I think it worked out well in the end. I don't know what the other twos have done, but I'll see soon.
Our design contestants definitely went all out on style and design, but did they go all out on budget? Let's find out.
It's time now to reflect on the projected budgets our three design teams put together last week to see how well they stuck to it. Rudolph, total projected budget was 63,000 Rand. He actually ended up spending 75,057 Rand. That's just over 12,000 Rand more than he originally budgeted. And the biggest portion of that went to furniture and equipment. Journée, total projected budget was 36,500 Rand. She ended up spending 41,140, which isn't too far off the projected budget, with only a difference of 4,640. Her biggest expense, as predicted, was the actual bed. Milenhle had the smallest projected budget of 26,500. He ended up spending 42,926 Rand. That's the biggest difference of all the design teams, of 16,426 Rand. That bid also really set him back. Remember that you have till Thursday, the 16th of June, to vote for your favourite guest bedroom on privateproperty.co.za and stand a chance to win paint from Plascon valued at 5,000 Rand. You will also automatically be placed into the grand prize draw where you can win one of the 3 completed apartments valued at over 3 million Rand. Win a home on Afternoon Express is where you'll see our 3 design contestants transform 3 properties at Wildebeest Estate using finishes provided by Caesarstone and Plascon. Judging their work are the team from Arc Interiors, Anne Roselt from Plascon, and Simon Bray from Private Property. Win a Home is proudly brought to you by Private Property in association with Nedbank. After the break, jazz drumming sensation Claude Cousins performs exclusively in our loft.
Welcome back to Afternoon Express.